Hello and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's new episode of Breakfast with Boom. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL, and today, folks, we have two rocking topics to get into. One of which is going to be, well, you know, those data miners. Well, they're out there doing what they do, and that's digging into source code for specifically today Black Ops 6. And it turns out that Master Chief, Marcus Fenix, Doom Guy, and possibly my heart's content Banjo-Kazooie showing up into Black Ops 6 as operators. I mean, the first three seem like, well, peanut butter and jelly. Like, they just go together perfectly. The Banjo-Kazooie one, well, that one seems to be the one that's the outlier, if you will. And if it's true, and I've said this yesterday, and I will repeat it. Please, for the love of Joe, people with skills, because I don't have those skills. If you are someone that has the skills to make a GIF and you do a Black Ops 6 finisher and you stab someone in the neck as Banjo-Kazooie, you must put that person on blast, number one, whoever the victim is. And number two, you need to put it out on the internet so everyone could enjoy it and just smile. But listen, Corkenstein, we have Fuzzy Velvet here, so I'm going to bring him in right now. Cork, how you feeling, brother? Welcome back, dude.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty excited. Yeah, these skins, that's an easy purchase. You know, we'll get into all that, and then this Xbox stuff is going to be awesome. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I got to play with Silent Cypher and Crazy Louie earlier in the week. We did some Call of Duty, and it would have been fun if all three of us had those skins. You know,
it would be pretty dope. I again, look, I was just saying this to Corkenstein. Black Ops 6 is making money like it's like Call of Duty's never made before. Now, what does that mean for us? Am I an investor in Microsoft? Yeah, I do. I have stock, right? But ultimately, I don't have enough stock that when they make moves like this, it's not gonna bankroll my second mansion because the first one is already paid off for, right? So, listen, what it does mean for me as a consumer, as Johnny on the spot consumer who spends his less than $10 a month because I'm a savvy consumer for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, the more money that this game makes from other platforms, meaning PC, meaning PlayStation, and eventually a Switch 2 launch title, that means that they're going to continue to invest in acquisitions, and those acquisitions are then going to be funneled into our service, Xbox Game Pass, raising the value of the service, which without a doubt is the best and most valuable service in gaming. But I would dare even say that it's probably the best and most valuable service in entertainment, because as great as some of the streaming services are, you don't get high quality AAA games, and then of course games from the rest of the world, meaning indie, second party, and third party, in any other service. You just don't. But the second topic, Fuzzy, and first of all, let's welcome in Fuzzy Belvedere. It is going to be about that Xbox commercial. This is an Xbox, and there's been a lot of pushback, some negative stuff, a lot of positivity behind it, because I think this is exactly what they needed to do. Now, Jez Corden of Windows Central, who I think extremely highly of, had a very negative take on it. We'll get into what Jez had to say. Look, Jez is his own man. He's a great journalist. He's a great member of this community, but I 1,000% disagree with his hot take. Surprisingly enough, the take from Destin Legary, fan-freaking-tastic, forward-thinking, and we will get into that as well. Fuzzy, how you feeling, brother? Welcome back.
Oh, I'm feeling great. Sorry about being late. Glad to be here with you guys. Man, it's been wild seeing how the response has been on social media and stuff, but love the fact that they used Black Sheep's song as a backdrop for that commercial. So that was pretty cool.
Just pretty dope. Yeah.
But man, so much to get into. But I'm happy Xbox is finally, being more open about what their plans are, as far as, everywhere you want to play is where you can play, kind of thing. And that's what I've been enjoying between PC and my Steam Deck. my Series X and my Series S, and yeah, it's great. But I'm pretty sure we'll get into more of the details and whatnot. But so glad to be here with you guys.
Well, we're happy to have you, brother. So listen, let's open up with some reality here. This has been a very busy week for Xbox. As a matter of fact, it's had basically every day this week some sort of new information that has moved the needle, but more importantly, is getting people to talk about Xbox. And that is ultimately the goal with their marketing. So Monday, we open up with what? Well, the Indiana Jones deep dive. And I talked about this. The game is a phenomenal piece of entertainment. It's done so well. Almost everybody that cares about the character saw that deep dive and was like, wow, it feels like an Indiana Jones film. That is the whole freaking point. And of course, Tuesday comes around and we get the docu-series for South of Midnight. Complete brilliance, right? The music, the voice acting, some of the combat that we saw, some additional footage that we've seen. Everybody is hyped. And if you're not hyped for the game, look, I'm not going to fight you on it. But if you're trying to run a narrative of, well, the game is unimportant, it's a DEI situation, I don't want to hear any of that crap. The game looks phenomenal. It is an original IP that is exactly what Xbox gamers have been asking for. A third-person, story-driven, narrative-focused, new type of character, plus an art style that is different and amazing looking. And look, I don't know what else to say about the game. And of course, Wednesday comes along and you get the big Phil Spencer interview. Now, granted, there were some narratives. Some people started running the victory lap for, on their favorite platform about Xbox games pretty much going everywhere. The biggest quarter of the day comes the way of, well, there are no red lines for our portfolio. And everyone thinks that means that entire slate is going over to PlayStation. That is not, in fact, the case. Games are going to go to PlayStation. That is a fact. Do I like it? No, not really. I'm an old cat. I have an old school mentality, but I also have to evolve with the times. And the times in 2024 where games are costing a ridiculous amount of money to produce and unfortunately are not selling, they have to make money elsewhere. And listen, they're just going to do what they have to do. As long as nothing's being taken away from my service and given to someone else, I don't care. I evolved. My opinion has evolved. And I think everyone's opinion needs to understand that the gaming industry is vastly changing. And maybe it's too fast. Maybe, Xbox is ahead of the curve as they normally are. But Sony has games going to PlayStation, has a game called Death Stranding on Xbox right now, right? They have MLB The Show in Xbox Game Pass every year and not on their own service. But that's okay. No, it's PlayStation. Nah, we give them a pass because, they've been in first place for so many years. It's okay. We don't care. Well, I care. And that's why we give it to PlayStation, because they consistently give it to their players by ripping us off with extras for everything. You pay for everything, and you get everything basically for your service that you pay for with Xbox. It's crazy. And speaking of which, right, like, again, I do want to get right into, you know what? I'm going to flip it, Cork. I originally was going to go with the Master Chief Fenix, Marcus Fenix and Doom guy coming to Call of Duty. I want to hold off on that one. I want to go into This Is Xbox, because this week we had yesterday the new marketing campaign for Xbox. Now, a lot of us, including myself, have complained about the messaging and the marketing, and they don't do enough of it. Well, this new campaign, This Is an Xbox, I think has taken the world by storm. And some of the feedback, some of the disingenuous takes that I've seen from people both in the media and in this community are a bit shocking to me. It's not surprising, Cork, but it is shocking, because interestingly enough, at the beginning of this week, there was a PlayStation commercial that was the most weird thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And they didn't show one game. They showed people jumping off buildings. They showed people rolling around on the floor. They showed people doing flippy flips. No games, but this is PlayStation. And somehow, no one from the gaming media was like, I'm going to be honest with you. This is the first thing we got from PlayStation in a minute. No gameplay, no additional roadmap conversation, just people flipping all over the place. No one said anything. Xbox does their commercial where they're showing games. They're showing people holding controllers and handhelds and having laptops with the Xbox logo and Black Ops on it. And somehow that's not good. Somehow this is Xbox is not a good way to sell your brand. Again, it's just clear evidence that there is a unbelievable bias or hashtag Xbox tax against the brand. Because again, if you just put both commercials up against each other, one literally does not show one single game. Not one. Buildings transforming and people rolling around all over the place. I didn't know what I was watching. But then Xbox does theirs, Cork, and it makes sense. It's showing you, hey, listen, Xbox is no longer just a box under your TV. It is a box that's now expanded to basically any device you have in your hand. Your cell phone, your tablet, your laptop, your desktop, your TV, your console, different ways to play, but at the same time, you're still playing an Xbox game. And of course, we do have the confirmation from last week that your owned games are soon going to be available across all of these platforms using cloud gaming, which is freaking awesome. Let's get your thought on one versus the other and some of the controversy out of this as an Xbox.
It's the same grifters, the same people that the doomers and everything. It's just really, really sad to see the overall messaging of this is an Xbox. Anybody that's been watching me on this show for the last few months has already seen this is the same thing I've been saying, we've been saying. Just almost every forward-thinking Xbox creator has been saying on their podcasts and on Twitter and on Blue Sky and on Threads, that it's no longer about locking yourself into an Xbox, a console. Xbox, Kay Asante and I were talking a while back in his Discord, and he brought up a good point that Xbox isn't really a hardware. They've never been a hardware company, a console company. It's always been like Microsoft, a software company. The Xbox was a means to an end to get that software to you. And the case is still true here, is that just because you have an Xbox, a console, doesn't mean that you only have to stay on that Xbox. You can go on PC now. You can go on cloud. You can go on mobile, whatever. Well, pretty soon mobile devices, things like that. They're more than just a console company, and they've been hammering that for the last couple of years now. And just for some reason, people just keep they're a console company. It's just flying over their head. Console company. So when they do these moves that are expanding and broadening their ecosystem and making them a platform, it's just lost on people because they refuse to see Xbox as anything else than a console. And like I said, that was never ever the case. It was a means to an end. This campaign is absolutely beautiful. It's just reinforcing everything that Xbox has been saying, and it's bringing it all in together. That people, especially right before the marketing season, Black Friday, people are going to start buying I think it's great. They're gonna start seeing people where, oh wait, I can play an Xbox on my on my phone. All I need is Game Pass for $20. Things like that. Especially right now, I don't know if Woot still has it, but yeah, for $29 for 3 months, they were doing
Wow.
sales.
Yeah.
I re-upped like 3 or 4 months, so or 9 months or something like that. So yeah, it's just so sad to see that these people ask for this, and then when they do it, they're the first ones to be like, no, not like that. I want it like this, which is the opposite of everything that they've been saying. It's just so frustrating because that's just enjoy Xbox, enjoy playing on a platform, enjoy these consumer friendly moves that other people aren't making in the industry. You even said it yourself. Maybe Xbox is getting a little bit ahead of the curve here, but it's a curve that's coming. Look, we're barely finding out now that the whole Xbox One DRM stuff might have been a pretty good idea with how forward the digital market is going. If we would have adopted that, we would have been able to be selling our digital library because we would have had the rights to it. That thing. It's a curve that's coming, and you don't become, Microsoft is $1 trillion company, Xbox is $1 billion. But even with Microsoft, being $1 trillion company, you don't become $1 trillion company if you don't get ahead of these curves. If you're not smart enough to see the market and how it's shifting and where it's going, Xbox is the same exact way. They see a market that is changing, that is evolving very quickly, and they're adapting to it as fast as they can to stay ahead of that curve. Meanwhile, like I said, you have PlayStation that's like, no, you can only play on PlayStation 5, and maybe we'll give you PC. And that's just so, I don't know, that's just so anti-consumer. And to force and pigeonhole somebody just into one ecosystem when we're, as gamers, we play on everything. We developers too. It's harmful to the industry. Developers want you to play their game. They don't care about consoles. They don't care about how many console sales there are. Some have to worry about that due to what they're going to invest in. But if every developer was given the funds to release on Nintendo, to release on Xbox, PC, whatever it may be, PlayStation, they would do it because they love their game. They want people to see this art that they've created, and they want to play it. It's like a mom, watching their kids opening up their Christmas presents, at Christmas. That's what developers want. So yeah, this marketing campaign is awesome. I love Jez. Jez is such a great dude. I kind of disagree, with his point. I know it's coming out of a place of love and care. Because he is a very, very passionate guy when it comes to Xbox.
Indeed. Yeah.
So I don't think he's doing it to grift. I think, his concerns are legit, but you do get some of these people out there. Again, no names. We all know who they are.
Yep. Yeah.
But they're just there just to, third party, Xbox to be like, hey, we're going to give everybody a free Xbox. Look at, they have to give away free Xboxes to get them in people's houses rather than being like, hey,
yeah, exactly.
Hey, you got a free console.
This is awesome.
Yeah. So it's just the same grifters. Pay them no mind. Follow people like Boom. Follow people like Fuzzy, Silent Cypher, Mav, Pong Soul, Infinite Umbra. These Keasante. These are the voices of logic. These are the voices. This is why people, we've said it plenty of times, that the media is scared of the narratives we create because they're from fans. And that's follow these people. Those are the voices that you should be listening to.
I mean, great points all around. So listen, just for context, I have both tweets. And again, this is no slight at Jez Corden. You've heard me say this before. He is certainly, in my personal opinion, tip of spear when it comes to journalistic integrity. This is his opinion. I disagree with it, but that doesn't make him a monster or wrong. It's his opinion. So after the commercial, Jez Corden retweets something that Jeff Keighley tweeted about, which I'm actually very surprised Jeff even bothered. And Jeff simply says, Xbox has announced a new ad campaign and quotes in all caps, this is an Xbox. And it shows off a bunch of things. And there's some silly things in there like this is a cat box. This is an Xbox. This is an Xbox that you wear, meaning like the MetaQuest. I think that you are trying to appeal, Fuzzy, to a broader audience. Now, that broader audience is going to be somebody that does not currently have an Xbox, and it's probably a younger gamer that plays on their tablets, on their phone, and doesn't want an Xbox. So Jez Corden goes on to say, Xbox's new marketing reminds me of the dissonance of 2013. It's in line with the way things are trending, but misangled with its sentiment. Just seems mad uncool and capitulatory, which is the opposite of what marketing campaigns should be. There's nothing cool about this, LOL. And he goes on. He continues. A main issue is xCloud isn't an Xbox. Asus ROG Ally isn't an Xbox. PC isn't an Xbox. It can't run 99% of my games on this device. They couldn't be further from Xbox right now. They might be someday, but they're marketing based on plans that haven't been realized again. And, well, I mean, look, he does have a point with certain games not running on some of these devices, but they've already announced that your purchased games are going to be available via xCloud or cloud gaming. You can, when that happens, all of these devices will then, be an Xbox, but just, a portable version of it. Whether you play on your PC and you go to use a cloud gaming, you'll be able to play your games that you've purchased. If you are on your VR unit and you want to play in big picture mode, you can do that. Not something I would personally do. I have MetaQuest 3 and it's great, but I wouldn't use it for that. But that is okay. You can play on your TV. I know I every time I turn on my TV, I'm getting an Xbox ad. And I simply go to cloud gaming with the controller that I bought from Samsung and simply press a button and I'm gaming. End of story. So, Fuzzy, before I bring you in, I want to bring in Destin Legary's tweet. And I find this to be perfect in delivery and exactly what he's trying to say. Because I personally think the commercial is brilliant. They don't need to sell me an Xbox. They don't need to sell anybody in this chat an Xbox. We have them already. Some of us have multiple Xboxes. And we know where we can play. We know that if I want to play not on a traditional Xbox and pop on my TV like my nephew loves doing, the Xbox is right there. He comes in, he goes, I want to play on cloud. I want to play cloud gaming. The novelty of it appeals to him. He's 15 years old. Kids like that stuff. But if you can appeal to this 15-year-old, maybe you can appeal to quite a bit other 15-year-olds, right? So this is what Destin had to say, Fuzzy. I think it's about time they really lean into it. I love this commercial. That the younger generation doesn't want to buy one box to play games. That's the future, whether it's wanted or it's not. And I mean, there's of course, Destin's going to get some pushback, and I don't think he deserves it on this case. I think he's 1,000% right. When you do a marketing campaign as stout as this, Fuzzy, you are not trying to appeal to the people who know and understand and already own your brand. You are trying to get the message to the mass audience who is not invested in your platform. Why? Well, there's a multitude of reasons. Maybe it's financial. Maybe it's they're casual, they're just casual gamers. But at the end of the day, when you put a commercial like this out there, someone is going to see it and be like, wait a second, I have a phone. I have a tablet. I don't have to buy an Xbox. Wait a second. Let me look into this. And again, is Xbox going to get 10 million new subscribers to Game Pass in the next 2 weeks? The answer is no. But it boggles my mind, Fuzzy, how people in this industry, content creators and certain people on social media be like, yeah, that Xbox messaging sucks and Xbox doesn't know what they're doing. They need to do more. They do something, and somehow this commercial is ultimately over criticized, and Sony's flippy flip commercial of people not even holding a controller, not even showing a freaking game, simply just blocks moving to make the symbols of PlayStation. That seems to be the better commercial. I am unbelievably boggled, mind boggled, if you will, by some of the stupid, really just shallow commentary that I've seen from certain people in this community. I want to get your thoughts on the commercial, brother. Did they hit, well, let me rephrase it. Are they hitting on all switches?
I think so. And I'll put it to you this way. Before I get into my analogy, the key thing is we have to all take a step back. Much like you said, this commercial isn't targeting us that already have the console. It's targeting those that are on the fence of either getting the console or looking at the ecosystem or looking at the games, and they're like, yeah, but I don't have a device to play it on. Well, this is to let them know that they probably already do. I think the problem in general, as far as not necessarily the pushback, but a lot of the perspectives, is almost like what I've been experienced in the car industry. You have your diehard enthusiasts, and then you have people that look at cars as point A to B transportation. And a lot of the car enthusiasts used to hate on 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder cars when there's V8s out there. I'm more of a V8 fan myself. Love the sound, love the power, and the modability to them. But I never would hate on the 4 or 6 cylinders because those have to sell. Those have to be the mass market, and those in turn fuel the financing for better or more powerful V8 versions later on down the road. And I think us as the enthusiasts have to look at it as, since we already have the console, and that kid over there or that PlayStation player over there, they're not going to buy the Xbox because they already have some place to play. But if Microsoft can get the money from them some way, shape, or form, that will go back into the first party as far as for future games, either for the platform or more deals that they have with that $1 billion that they put towards third party for Game Pass. So we have to look at that outreach, kind of like what I think Phil said in an interview many moons ago, where it was like we can either find a way to leverage the customer base that we have by monetizing them more, basically either charging them more or nickeling and diming them on every last little thing, or we can try to reach more customers in different ways. And if those customers are already not buying the console, whether you do a $50 savings or not, then the best thing to do, because a lot of people have a phone, a lot of people have at least a decent enough laptop to use a browser, or they have a tablet, or they may already have a smart TV that's hooked to the internet. Those are your potential next customers to kind of get into the fold. Now, the only pushback I give Microsoft on this, and it's probably more so on the technical side of things, is that their cloud service isn't quite as good as, like, let's say GeForce Now, just from a smooth standpoint. And Stadia was a little bit better or smoother, flow as far as for even if you had just 8 megabyte up or down internet. So on the worst internet, xCloud isn't the greatest experience, but that's something that they definitely need to work on. Another area that they need to work on is their actual PC store. Now, I know when Jez was saying that the ROG Ally or your Windows PC isn't really an Xbox, it is, well, it can be depending on how far you're willing to go. I think Microsoft needs to step up a bit further and have it so either they have an easy to execute for those that are not as computer savvy, a way to turn your ROG Ally either into an Xbox, or make it so it's easy to have the Xbox app front and center. So it's just a matter of a couple of clicks and you have access to your library. I think the other big step is going to have to be that they're going to have to work with third party, because they already kind of do it themselves when it comes to their own licensing for games. But they're going to have to really work with third party for the people that are on a ROG Ally or on their PC that may already have an Xbox account from their 360 or from their Xbox One, and those games that they purchased need to be available, not in a streaming sense, but a downloadable sense. And if they can do that on a ROG Ally or a Legion Go or on your favorite Windows PC, that's, I think, the next big step. Because there are a good bit of games that are dual entitlement that you'll be able to find that you purchase on your console that are readily available in your library on your PC. But there's a good majority of them that were like probably prior to 2019 that aren't like a dual entitled title. And some of them are even first party titles that they are still kind of working backwards to rectify. But when it comes to the third party, those are the ones that they really need to lean into as far as making it so the person that, just purchased a MetaQuest 3, they can go ahead, use that app, the Xbox app that's on it, and access the games that they may have owned from the 360 era, or access the games that they own from the Xbox One era, or even during the series console era. So that way it's an easy transition without having to worry about, well, I can play, 60% of my games, but this other 40% I can't, or whatever the case may be, depending on the type of games you purchased previously. And then I guess the other big thing is going to have to be kind of what we briefly touched on with that whole digital DRM deal. We got to figure out a way for those that were physical for the 360 era and the Xbox One era, if there is ever a way to convert those to digital. And I know that's going to be a steep wall to climb because we still don't even technically own our digital games that we have. But they need to figure out a way, whether it's a trade-in, turn-in, some sort of digital key that's on it and you break the disc or whatever. Whatever the case is, they need to figure out that, because it seems like they're going to be going for digital store or digital devices mainly moving forward. And most PCs are digital only at this point. I can't remember the last store purchasable PC that has a CD-ROM or DVD or Blu-ray drive.
They don't make them anymore, dude. You have to buy them secondhand. And the last game that actually was on disc was Doom Eternal.
Yep.
Like that was actually the last one that's not what considered to be like a collector's edition. Just you go to the store and you buy it, and it's this ginormous box that's about 18 inches tall, and it's got a disc in it that's only this big. Yeah. The last, if I can remember, folks, obviously, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive the actual last disc game for PC was Doom Eternal, and that's years ago.
Now, the only exceptions are the limited run stuff.
Yeah, well, that's different. Yes, that's their specialty, though.
But yeah, you're right. Doom was pretty much the last game you could buy that was printed by the publisher and put on the store shelves and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's funny how a lot of people on the PC side have completely moved to digital years ago and don't even think twice about it. And I see a lot in the console space that are begrudgingly moving or being forced as they see it in that direction, where it's kind of like an inevitability. But all of that being said, love the, everything is an Xbox commercial for the fact that, I play on my Steam Deck. I play on my LG TV. I play on my Series X. I have a Series S for when I hit the road. Same thing with the Steam Deck. And being able to play those games at pretty much anywhere, I think is the biggest move moving forward that I really wish other platforms did. Like, I look forward to the day when their PlayStation PC store is more of a thing. We're already starting to see achievements for the PC games, or not achievements, trophies for the PC games and whatnot. So maybe some of the purchases from Steam or something like that will be able to retroactively work that way as well. But yeah, great commercial. Just people have to take a step back and realize that maybe that commercial isn't for you if you're feeling a certain type of way as a console gamer. It's for the masses that don't have that console right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're in the chat and you are feeling a type of way about the ad, I'm not here to argue with you. If you don't like it, hey man, that a guy or gal, you don't like it. That's fine. But I think that Fuzzy has really hit the nail on the head. Now, before we get into what that nail on the head is, I want this to be clear. Xbox has a lot of work in front of it to get this thing off the ground. Let's be clear. No one is giving them a free pass. They need to make things work across the board. But I'm going to be honest with you. I personally don't think the $3 trillion company puts out an ad like this without having the ship ready to deliver. Now, to me, it would be kind of stupid, right? Like, it would be like, Xbox, really? Like, you put out the commercial today and you're telling me this ain't going to be ready until 2025. That's dumb. So I think that a lot of the stuff that we are talking about here is going to be ready sooner than we think, because I don't think they put out this commercial in this form. And obviously, listen, it's getting people to talk about Xbox both positively, negatively, and somewhere in the middle. Some people are confused. I don't understand. Some people like, I hate it. Some people like me, I freaking love it. I think that this is exactly the marketing campaign they need to attract people that are not Boomstick, Korkenstein, Fuzzy, or anybody in this chat. We know what an Xbox is. Hell, I have 3 freaking shows a week for Xbox. So I understand what an Xbox is. I don't need them to tell me that. But someone who does not, well, let's say, for instance, someone walked away from Xbox 360 and went to the PS4 because of price and because of this is how you share games. Because that won the whole generation for Sony, right? 2013, disastrous with leadership, messaging, and everything. And maybe they walked away. Maybe they're just a casual person. They buy 2 games a year. They buy a Madden, they buy a FIFA, and they buy a Call of Duty. That's about all that they buy. And maybe they buy a Spider-Man or something like that, right? That's all they buy. And they see this commercial, but wait a second, I used to play on Xbox. And they go and they take a look at it. I just think that I think it's brilliant. I think that this is exactly what they need to appeal to people that are not Xbox gamers. That is what they need to do. And the fact that you can play all these games, and again, they said it a couple of weeks ago, every game that you own is going to be playable on cloud gaming. I believe they said November. Now we're getting close to the end of November. Hopefully that happens. It's something that happens, because again, maybe it happens next week. Who knows? We're still waiting on this onslaught of ABK games. Maybe that's when it happens. I don't know. But I can say that this is a step in the right direction for marketing. And again, I find it incredibly hard to understand how we can go from Xbox needs to market better. They do something they're trying to appeal to the non-Xbox hardcore, and there are people that are hardcore Xbox like, yeah, you know what? I don't like this. I don't like it. It's bothersome. It's not really good. They're not speaking to me because they don't need to speak to you, dude or dudette. You have Xbox. You have Xbox Game Pass. You know what's coming out. You know the roadmap. I don't know what else they need to do for you. They need to come and make you breakfast. They need to cure cancer. I mean, we love all these things, but that's not what they do. They are a software company, and they are appealing. The hardware has been moved out of the conversation, right? Now, maybe that doesn't need to happen for Nintendo. Nintendo is going to Nintendo, but Sony finds themselves in a bit of a pickle, and they're trying to figure out listen, look at what Sony is doing. They're directionless. The biggest announcement that coming in December is going to be the God of War trilogy remade. Like, as much as I'm going to buy that and play through it because I love the original trilogy, is that what they actually need right now? I don't think so. But
I do want to say you're right, Boom. Like, we've never been like a lot of these targeted ads. People forget that while you're on Twitter, or, you know, if you're very invested in the Xbox ecosystem, these campaigns aren't for you. Most marketing is for casual consumers. So, you know, we've said this before that, you know, everybody is behind on their sales except Nintendo. Because I think their last thing was the Wii U, and we know how that turned out. But, you know, for last gen, but the last gen consoles for Xbox and PlayStation, they're still behind. Console sales have stagnated. Or, you know, they're stagnant. They're not growing in the right direction that they need them to. So what do? You adopt to, or you try and get other people on other platforms, you know, into your ecosystem. And how do you do that? You release Sea of Thieves on PlayStation 5. You start looking at cloud. You start looking at mobile. You start moving into PC. You know, that's the strategy behind the Xbox, is getting the casual consumer that have already built roots, that don't want to, you know, spend the $500, $600 on a console, and still get them somehow into your ecosystem to spend. That's the theory behind it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, obviously the ultimate goal here is to get someone to potentially take a peek into Xbox Game Pass. Because again, why this is an important campaign is because streaming services are no longer foreign to most people that consume via their phone, via their tablet, or their PC. Everyone knows what Netflix is, but everyone still now knows what Peacock and Hulu and all of these different services that we pay for. They are subscribed to these services, these digital services. They don't have physical boxes that are playing these things. They go to their TV, they press the app, and the app starts, and hopefully they're automatically signed in. They sign in, they go and they watch, and that's how it works. Well, that is how Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is going to work, because everything is digital. And if you can get someone to simply go out and pick up a controller that's $60 and they pay their $20 a year, let's say they're not savvy, like, $20 a year, let me see what I'm getting. Oh, I remember Halo. I remember Gears of War. I remember playing these games. What? They're all there? Look at, and they go and they look at the library, and there's 500 plus games. And then they see something like, wait a second, I remember Call of Duty back in the days. This new Call of Duty looks sick. And they go and they subscribe because Black Ops 6, one of the biggest Call of Duties probably in a decade, is in there. Listen, folks, I'm not I don't have a degree in marketing. I have a degree in common sense. And this is fan-freaking-tastic. If you don't like it, you're not going to get an argument out of me. You're entitled to your opinion. But I love it because they're not trying to appeal to me. They don't have to sell me on an Xbox. They just don't. And I don't think I think that's the right way to go. But let me catch up on Super Chats. There's been quite a few of them here. We have a couple of channel member chats as well. First one of the day comes the way of JT Koo, who's been a channel member for half a year. So, brother, thank you so much for the support. He says, good morning, gentlemen. Xbox is on the rise. They're giving ponies an ultimatum. Either you pay $20 a month for our games or pay 70 plus on PlayStation. Soon, folks will wake up. Yeah, I mean, listen, Xbox doesn't care where they get the money from. Like, if Black Ops 6 is the best selling on PlayStation, do you think that Xbox and Microsoft gives a shit? They're going to be applauding that all the way to the bank. Now, you know who's going to care? Oh, well, you see, PlayStation, the PlayStation community, the content creators that clip us on a regular basis to make their content because they're talentless pricks. That's what's going to happen. They care because they're going to run around with a big W banner like they won something. Just embarrassing. But this is the right move. Thanaros, who's been this is crazy, folks. He's been a channel member for 61 months. I mean, like, that is just madness. Thanaros, dude, I can't thank you enough for the ridiculous generosity over many, many years. I mean, the channel just made 7 years. Just do the math. He's been a channel member since inception. Brother, that is very kind of you and very generous of you as well. He says, consoles aren't leaving anytime soon. Thank you, kind sir. Not until Game Pass subscriptions from cloud, PC, and mobile completely outpace consoles. See, and that's a great point. Like, we talked about this on Primetime Gaming, and I talked about this with C Money yesterday. The consoles are always going to be here because people like me exist. I am not an oddity. I like playing on console. I do not have any inkling whatsoever to get a PC. I can afford a $5,000 rig today, but I don't care for it because I don't need to worry about drivers and having to fix things that break down all by themselves. I don't want no problems. I want to go sit on my I barely have enough time in the day to work out, clean the house, do this show, and still play freaking games. The last thing I want to do is like, oh shit, and needs a driver update. God damn it. I don't want any of that. I want to press my freaking power button on my controller and just go. That's it. And there are more people like me still, like, again, we're not Yetis, you know, there are more of us than you think that will buy a console. And interestingly enough, Thanaros, there are 20 million plus Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers on console. What does Xbox do with them? Nah, we don't need them. Let's just, you know, not make a console. It's only 20 million. Like, does that make any freaking sense? It does not. Jay Slay drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, hey, Boom, how do you deal with the ponies in the comments of your videos that disrespect you? Just want to say keep up the good work and enjoy your show. Brother, that's very kind of you. Look, here's the thing. There is a particular female content creator, which I will not name, who just did a video who clipped me and Jamie Moran. And look, I'm gonna say this as a general consensus, not for her particularly, but just as a general sweeping consensus. If your life revolves around my shows, and you are clipping me and my members and and the people on the panel, what does that actually say about your content? Because if I stop making content, you stop making content. So think about that for a second. How talentless do you have to be to scrub through someone else's video to then get them and take them out of context to make your video? Do you understand how silly that is and how honestly pathetic? So if you are a content creator that consistently clips me and this is what you do with your life, take 5 seconds, go look in the mirror and figure it out, because that's not a great life to have. Be original. Read 10, 15, 20 articles a day like I do. Write your own shows. When you can do that, then let's have a conversation. Maybe I invite you on the show and we can debate. But until then, I don't think that's such a great life, that you're literally hanging on producing content, scrubbing through someone else's. That's pretty damn pathetic if you ask me. And in regards to people that have something negative to say, listen, I was a cop for 21 years. You can only imagine what I heard when I was in uniform. If someone says something nasty to me, and they do, some of the comments on the YouTube are just egregious. I did what I did as a cop. I simply laugh. I just laugh at it, because my brother told me when I started YouTube, Boom, the second you gain traction, they're going to come for you. And it just is what it is. Starfield Guy, who's been a channel member for 3 months. So Starfield Guy, thank you so much for the support. He says, hey, gents, remember everything is an Xbox now. Boom is an Xbox. Fuzzy is an Xbox. Cork is an Xbox. We're all Xbox. Oh, well, I said Xbox. He says Xboxes. But yeah, we all, I mean, listen, it's funny. It's getting people to talk. That's the whole point of marketing, right? Black Helmet Man, who's been a channel member for, 38 months. So, dude, thank you so much for the ridiculous support. He says, wouldn't be better to have this campaign when cloud gaming isn't in beta anymore? I mean, again, that's a great point. Taking it out of beta and making it mainstream. I think they're working with NVIDIA now to figure out the technology, because NVIDIA's stuff works really good. And I think Xbox needs to get there. That's why I said before, Xbox isn't off the hook. This isn't perfect. It's not perfect. They have to do some legwork here. But I don't think that they announced this campaign without having the answers that most of us are looking for. We also have here Tyrant Entertainment. Welcome, Tyrant Entertainment. That's great that you're here, and thank you so much for the very generous $5 super chat. He says, PlayStation is like a jet ski. Do you want the brand jet ski or a water vehicle? Xbox gets the people in the water no matter what the vehicle. Fan-freaking-tastic point of view. Thank you so much for the comment, and of course, thank you for the generosity. Space Shot, welcome back, brother. Nice to see you here. He drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "My problem with the campaign, in my humble opinion, is Microsoft struggles with the call to action. Somehow, Microsoft has to show people get a controller, play games right now. I mean, they're in third place. They're there. Now, why are they in third place? Because they put themselves there. Going all the way back to 2013. This isn't an accident. They had bad leadership. They had a great launch lineup. They had a great launch plan. All of those plans that, DRM and all this other stuff, that's happening now. That's been happening for years. PlayStation capitalized on magnificent marketing. They went second. They saw the reaction and they reacted. And because of their quick reaction of lessening the PS4 $100, taking the camera out the box, and this is how you share games. Again, it's Sony is known for brilliance when it comes to their marketing. That is just one of their very strong suits. Xbox is getting better. Is it great? It is not. Is this going to solve all their woes? It is not, but it is certainly a step in the right direction. Again, that's just my hot take. Will Broke Boy Lewis drops a very generous $2 super chat. Will, great to see you here, brother. He says, IHOP has Indiana Jones inspired French toast. Yeah, I saw that. Again, is it a bit silly? It is. But is it marketing? Yeah, it kind of is. And who goes to IHOP? Are 15-year-old teeny boppers going to IHOP? No, they're not. Old pricks like me still go to freaking IHOP. And when you see that, you're an old prick. You're like, oh, I remember Indiana Jones. My pops brought me to this film. And they see that, like, there's an Indiana Jones game. What is Xbox? There you go. Silly, but ultimately it works. And that's who they have to appeal to. Because, again, I said this before, the under 30 crowd, I don't know if they're going to care about Indiana Jones. That's my only concern with this. Anyone above 30, and again, please, 20, 28-year-olds, I'm not like throwing you under the bus here. I'm just saying that the under 30 crowd may or may not care about Indy. I care about Indy. I have a lot of personal stuff why I care about Indy, but this is again, it's just to me, it's good. It's cool marketing. I just think that it's an old school way of marketing. The new way that they were doing it wasn't working. They had to try something different. They're going back to old school marketing. I love it. I absolutely do. Ultraman drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Hello, fellas. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, and salute to you, brother. Thank you so much for the generosity and, of course, always being here." Cork. Now, this is the topic I wanted to open up with. This is the fun one, but it's on the back end of the show. It's fine. Data miners. We love them. We don't know who they are. They're a mysterious group of talented tech people that seems to be able to scrub through the code of each and every game that's ever come out, or platform, or console. You name it, they figure it out. Well, these so-called data miners found out something. And now, mind you, this isn't a rumor. This has been reported upon by Tom Henderson. Jez Corden has talked about it. There's been quite a few people. There's been quite a few stories written specifically about this, and it's happening. What am I talking about? Well, Black Ops 6, obviously, biggest game of the year. Most money it's going to make, probably ever. It's probably the best Call of Duty, at least in my opinion, in the last decade. It took this old man out of retirement to come back after potentially 2 freaking decades. And I am now on, I think I'm like three maps away from my second prestige. I haven't prestiged in 2 decades. And this game, it gets me. I have not finished the campaign. I'm not even halfway through. I'm saying maybe a third. And every time I start the campaign, I'm like, why aren't I playing multiplayer? Because I have to get to this, or I want to unlock this skin, or I want to do this. Well, it turns out that my hopes, dreams, and wishes for Xbox tapping the vein cork of first party that they own is about to come true, because according to these quote unquote mystery data miners, they have found out that Master Chief, Marcus Phoenix, and Doom Guy are coming to Black Ops 6 as playable operators. But that's not the only one. And you heard me already talk about this. I might have let the cat out of the bag. I got to talk about Banjo-Kazooie, because if you guys and gals remember a couple weeks ago, I believe I said it live on the air. Wouldn't it be cool to have a person, or a Black Ops character dressed up as Crash Bandicoot with the human face sticking out the middle, like he did when he was yelling at PlayStation with the bullhorn? Remember that? When he was yelling at Nintendo? Bah! That was an old school. That was old school marketing, which is kind of feels what Xbox is going to. I actually hope they do that. Honestly, I hope, but that was then, and now we're hearing Banjo-Kazooie. So is Banjo-Kazooie the most lovable character you can ever want to use or play? That's me. Run around and do finishing moves where you're stabbing people in the neck, slitting their throats, and then throwing their bodies off to the side like a sack of potatoes. That is what I need in my life. I don't know if that's what you need. I need that in my life. And I don't know if it's going to be a human wearing a Banjo-Kazooie like suit, which would be, I think, is the way to go personally, or it's actually going to be Banjo-Kazooie running around with an AK-47 and getting kill streaks. I mean, come on, folks. That success core literally writes itself. That is give them the Academy Award, please, because that would be brilliant. Again, does it matter to me, Cork, how much money they make? Nah, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It just solidifies the fact that a game as important and as big and as popular as Black Ops 6 could get into the service of Game Pass and still sell 60% higher on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC. And obviously, it's going to make gangbuster numbers when it launches on Switch. It's probably going to be a launch title, which is crazy. No, it doesn't really matter how much money they make. It just solidifies the fact that our service is going to be packed with games of this size because they could still make money everywhere else. Let's talk about Master Chief, Marcus Phoenix, and Doom Guy, because look, I think that they're going to sell. They got my money. I mean, they got my money already. I think everybody in the chat is going to pick one or all three. This is a Fortnite-like move, and we know how much money Fortnite makes. They are the masters of characters joining the fray. They do it great. They do it to great success, and everybody from age 8 to 60 is going to buy a character, whether it be the Ninja Turtles, whether it be Darth Vader, whether it be Indiana Jones, Kratos, Master Chief, you name it, it's been in Fortnite. This, I think, is a brilliant freaking move. Let's get your hot take.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've been talking about this for, a lot of people have been talking about this since they started making acquisitions and things like that. Like, oh, think about what they could do for this game, adding these characters and these characters and these characters. Well, what's the perfect game that can appeal to the casual audience and can appeal to the hardcore audience as well? Call of Duty. It's the perfect avenue to put these characters that we've been talking about, like Marcus Phoenix, Doom Guy, Halo, Master Chief, and even Banjo-Kazooie or whatever, whoever you want to put in. Call of Duty, that's the avenue. That's the perfect avenue right there. I'm very curious on how that would work on other consoles. Because, for like PlayStation, if you guys notice the Sea of Thieves, they took out the Halo. So the Sea of Thieves has a custom like Halo package that you could buy that like changes the figurehead to Master Chief and, the sigil, the symbols on the sails and stuff would be, the Master Chief logo, things like that. They would do cool stuff like that, but that's not in the PlayStation 5 Sea of Thieves. It's actively blocked. I think it makes it like a default one or changes it to a different one or something like that. So it'd be interesting to see how that happens on a different platform. I could definitely see like, Banjo or Doom Guy, things like that. But staples of Xbox will be interesting to see how that's handled. I'm all for it. I mean, bring as many Xbox characters as you can or as you want. Just gaming characters in general. We just got Spyro. We just got Crash. We just got the Spyro. Supposedly Crash might be coming soon. Let's get it in there. I think the idea is perfect with Banjo Kazooie being in a suit, or even the cell shaded version of it would look really, really cool. If they really wanted to go old school, they could just import the models from, the old games, and then you're just, these big blocky characters running around. It would be fun. It works on all avenues. Just bring more in and, let the players decide. You can never have too much of something when it comes to these kind of things, especially when they're cosmetic, especially when they don't change the gameplay in any meaningful way, to where it's paid to win. Just have fun with it. And I think this is exactly what Xbox needs. It fits their brand type perfectly of just having fun and just getting in there and just playing games. And especially games, especially from characters and IPs that you love. We've all been talking about it. They need to revive some of these IPs. They have these IPs. Well, this is how you can get it started. And especially with such a powerhouse of Call of Duty that casuals are going to see, that hardcore fans are going to see on all platforms almost. Do it. It hurts nobody. It just brings in more revenue for Xbox, and it appeases those hardcore fans that have been asking for this. So I don't see a loss here. I don't see it as a negative. Just bring it in, have fun with it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, so let's see who just said it here. Where is it? I just saw it. So Will Broke Boy Lewis says they have done 8-bit operator versions of the Call of Duty characters. So I didn't even know that. I would spend the money on that. I think that's freaking cool. I bought a skin of the female operator. I don't know her name. She's one of the rogue Black Ops. She's dressed as a freaking green ass dragon with wings and everything, and I bought it. And is some people gonna be, well, boom, that's kind of stupid. Okay, they got me to buy it. She's dressed as a dragon. I love dragons, and she looks freaking awesome. So now I'm running around with the weapons that she comes with that actually like melt when you hit people with it. It melts them. Like when you kill them, they fall to green pieces. It's freaking dope. Like they got my money. So if you're gonna tell me that you're gonna get a Marcus Phoenix, Master Chief, Doom Guy, and potentially a Banjo Kazooie, take my money, please. Let's see who else. There was a comment over here. Let me see if I could find it real quick. Somebody had actually said Joanna Dark. I'm trying to find who said that because I want to give them credit. Joanna Dark would be a dope character. Why wouldn't she be? She'd be a great operator. She has a new game coming out in a couple of years. How do you introduce people to this new old character? You put her in something as popular as Call of Duty and be like, who is this lady? Oh, there's a game coming out. Perfect Dark, reboot. Okay, I'm in. That's how you do it, folks. Listen, this is to me is brilliant work. And again, I want to see them. I really, Fuzzy, want to see them tap into the vein. But Fuzzy, before I bring you in, brother, I do want to obviously talk about something that I brought showed off to the world for the first time yesterday, and that is the collaboration with Double Barrel Gaming and the Volare Gaming Pillow Company. Look, I'm just starting to talk about it. I'm getting goosebumps. And why is that? Because when you are a content creator, nothing is guaranteed. You're never going to guarantee that people are going to A, subscribe, or B, tune in on a regular basis to listen to the shenanigans that you're talking about. I happen to be lucky on both of those fronts that we have people that come back on a regular basis, people that subscribe to the channel, and people that also help fund the channel, which is, again, it's something that is none of this is guaranteed. You know what else is not guaranteed? A company looking at you as a brand and saying, we like what they're doing and we want to work with you. Now that's happened more often than than I can believe, honestly. And we started this as just a hobby, and now it's turned into a full-on business. So obviously, I showed off the pillow. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the mock version of it. This is what it looks like. Ultimately, I don't want to put the pillow in front of the camera again. Yesterday, I looked like a knucklehead, but this is what the Double Barrel Gaming pillow looks like. This is the concept art. It came out almost identical. It's just not as many shotgun shells, but it's close. And I think it's complete brilliance. Again, for me, seeing my brand and Mrs. Boom's brand on another company's pillow is it's crazy to us, right? So the link and the QR code is currently being made. I will have that available next week. I sat down. The company is out of Dubai. We had a meeting yesterday. Loved the final product. I think it's absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. And you'll be able to order one next week. As soon as it goes live, I will pin it to my Twitter. Of course, I'll talk about it on the socials. I'll talk about it on the shows. I don't have the link now, but I will have the link next week. And when I have it, I'll put it out there. Again, if you want to buy it, awesome. We're incredibly grateful that you would even consider it. But to be honest, the pillow itself has been a savior for my back. As everyone knows, I had massive back surgery that cost me my career as a cop, and I look like Wolverine. If you see what I look like in X-ray, you're like, holy shit, how is that guy even walking? I have no idea. I had an amazing surgeon. But playing games sometimes is painful, and I find myself hunching over. This pillow, the Volare Gaming pillow, completely stops that, because you're resting your hands in front of you rather than in your lap where you're hunched over, and it works. And it works really, really well. And like I said, I put myself on the stand here, someone that has massive back problems. But before we get to Fuzzy's hot take on this, I kind of want to just run the commercial, because it is important to the channel. It's important to the now Double Barrel Gaming pillow. And of course, it's important to Volare Gaming pillow, who decided to team up with us. So check out the commercial, and we'll talk a little bit more after it's done. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Volare Gaming pillow. Again, if you want to get your own and you want to wait for the Double Barrel Gaming pillow, you can. Again, next week I will be able to provide that link, and all you got to do is type in the code DBG15 at checkout, and you'll save 15% off of your order. I can tell you that they have also teamed up with a small company that's not as big as Double Barrel Gaming, Bethesda. They have Starfield pillows. They have Elder Scrolls. You name it, they're doing a pillow. Of course, I jest. There's a pinch bigger than Double Barrel Gaming. Just saying. But they're working with them. I got a chance to see some of the concept art, and it's holy cow. Like I'm probably gonna get a Bethesda pillow. They look really good. They have Fallout, Elder Scrolls. You name it, your favorite Bethesda game is going to be a part of it. They're going to be launching that soon. Again, it's just a preview. I'll give you the heads up. So, again, the link will be available next week. I'll pin it to my Twitter account and my Blue Sky account. And if you're interested, please, let them know that that I sent you over there, and use the code DBG15 at checkout. But Fuzzy, I want to talk to you about this collaboration with Black Ops 6. Again, it's a money-making scheme. You can call it whatever you want. They want to pull us from our dollars. But I got to be honest with you. Like, I'm so invested in Black Ops 6 multiplayer that knowing that I might be able to play Master Chief, Marcus Phoenix, or Doom Guy at a click of a button, I'm good. They're going to get my money. I think that this is something that if there's anybody that's a diehard Xbox fan like us, have been saying that they need to do more of. They need to tap into the vein of what Xbox is. These characters are Xbox. Black Ops 6 is Xbox. Yes, it's multiplat, but they own the IP. They need to do more. I love this. I cannot wait for this to be officially announced. Let's get your thoughts.
I think like you said, they should do a lot more of this. Like I was just thinking, I mean, they've already had like the Warthog and Forza Horizon and things along those lines, but having, any of the, Xbox or Microsoft gaming IPs in things like Call of Duty is the next logical step. Maybe do some incentive, like if you already own the game or have access to the game, or you have the DLC, like if you pre-ordered, the DLC for, Starfield, maybe you get the spacesuit or something along those lines. Like I really think they need to look at all avenues of this across all of their games. But Call of Duty being probably their biggest one, or actually being their biggest one right now, it's a must-have type of deal. Having Marcus Phoenix, having Master Chief in there, having Doom Guy in there, they need to do more collabs amongst those characters themselves. Like I still think they need to do like a Halo and Doom Guy, collab at some point. But having those characters, hopefully that's just the start. Whoever said for like Joanna Dark makes perfect sense. Definitely something they should consider as well. For zombies, although they're not really characters that you create, but there are some legacy characters that appear in like the main story quest for like State of Decay. Have some of those in there as well, or something similar, or some of the clothing items like the t-shirts and things like that. Collabs amongst their studios needs to happen more frequently, and if this is the start, Call of Duty is the perfect place to give that a go, and we'll see how far this goes, as far as if it's something that they continue to do, or package it in like the season pass or something like that. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a great way to introduce characters of yesteryear to a new audience. Call of Duty is still, quote unquote, for an old man, hip to a lot of these young kids. Yeah, I get it. Maybe it's not as important as it was 20 years ago, right? Because back then, Fortnite's and Apex Legends and all these free-to-play games, they didn't exist. But that's still, I mean, like Warzone, still free to play. Lots of teenagers and people in their late teens, early 20s play Warzone, right? It's free to play. Does playing Warzone get you into Black Ops 6? Potentially, for sure. But these characters, and this is where I think it's brilliant. We know for a fact that Master Chief and the Halo franchise is not only being reworked, potentially even rebooted, but we know that there's multiple projects in development. Master Chief as a character was in Fortnite. Now, again, maybe a 13-year-old has no idea or even cares what Halo is. But they're going to see someone running around the battlefield of Fortnite dressed as Master Chief, like, whoa, what is that? And they might be interested. And now, obviously, if they play Fortnite, they know about Apex Legends, but they also know about Warzone, and they know about Call of Duty. So, interestingly enough, these particular characters have something in development. That's why it's brilliant. Master Chief has a game coming out potentially as a launch title for the new Xbox in 26. That's my thoughts and theories, not a confirmation. Marcus Phoenix and Dominic Santiago are coming back, including their original voice actors, for Gears E-Day. Now, is that next year or is that saved for 2026? I don't know, right? Doom Guy. Doom has a game coming out on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and potentially Switch 2 next year. Doom the Dark Ages. So how do you get people excited for these games that they may not even know what it is? Well, you put their characters into a very popular game that everybody is talking about and playing. Again, this is the credit that Xbox doesn't get. Now, they have not been officially announced. This is data mined information. And could it possibly be wrong? Sure. Is it likely that this is happening? Pretty much. Yeah. And again, I don't think you get Tom Henderson, Tom Warren, and the other prominent members of the journalistic community to report on this if they don't have someone that they've spoken to put it out there. I do trust them on that. So again, take it with a grain of salt. Maybe it's your bag, maybe it's not your bag. I think we have something happening here. And like I said, Xbox is never going to win first place. Maybe they continue to be in first place when it comes to money's made because they have so many IP, so many franchises that they own that they're just making money hand over fist. And they're going to outpace Sony when it comes to the money 10 times over. They're going to outpace Nintendo 10 times over because when you have that many IP and you have that many pokers in the fire, it's ultimately you're going to win out when it comes to the monies. Now, are they going to be number one in the hearts and minds of gamers? Never. Especially with the way the media is currently. Xbox, I've said this before, gentlemen, Xbox could cure cancer tomorrow and give that cure away for free. And you know what would be the running narrative? Not that they cured cancer, not that they gave it away for free. Why didn't they do it sooner? That would be the running narrative with gaming media, because it's anything to do negative about Xbox is going to drive them to the clicks, subs, and likes. And to me, it's why I don't trust the media. It's why I only have a very small circle of people that I mentioned before, that I read their stuff religiously, a few websites that I go to. Other than that, I pay them no damn attention because they're all chasing the mighty click. And to me, it's just gross. But let me just make sure that we are caught up to date on the super chats. And then we're going to get everyone on out of here because, again, it's Friday. Want to get you to start your day. I got a ton of stuff to do before I pick up Mrs. Boom later on. But you know what? Honestly, I want to get back to playing Call of Duty. I want to play freaking Call of Duty. That's what I want to do today. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's see. We have Torino Johnson, who's been a channel member for 14 months. So Torino, welcome as always. And thank you so much for the support. He says, saw that Somerville was leaving Game Pass today. So I stayed up last night to play it and finish it. Interesting. Very weird. Love Game Pass. Yeah, see, that's one of those games that I thought was going to be a lot better. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. And I don't know why I didn't love it. But again, good that you beat it, brother. It's definitely, again, and that's the thing. If something's leaving Game Pass, you can buy it for your collection on discount, which is awesome. Will Broke Boy Lewis drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, not sure if mentioned, but PlayStation exclusive operator packs for Modern Warfare 2 and 3 are available to use on Xbox, PC, and Warzone if you already have on PlayStation. I did not know that. I think those were the items that were exclusive to PlayStation, and now, well, that contract expired on I believe it was November 9th. So then all the marketing from now on, and I guarantee next year's is going to be bonkers. It's going to be no holds barred because they owe PlayStation nothing at this point, literally nothing. Great point, Will. Thank you so much. Zach Riley. Zach, nice to see you, brother. He has been a channel member for 6 months. Thank you so much for the support. He says another collab announced this week at the Warcraft Direct was Hearthstone getting a StarCraft set. First time ever had non-Warcraft cards in it. That's pretty dope. Like, again, the only card game I play is Marvel Snap, which they get my $15. I love freaking Marvel Snap. I have $15 every month without fail. I love that card game. I've never played Hearthstone. Looks interesting, but then again, I've never played Warcraft or WoW. So I think those are characters that appeal to me. But great point, brother. Thank you so much for that. We also have JVC and Sons. Welcome back, brother. Thank you so much. He drops a very generous $2 super chat. JV and Sons, we super appreciate the generosity. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you enjoyed the show. If you did, please consider subscribing. If you're not already subscribed, hit the like button on your way out the door. And more importantly, please, if you're feeling super generous on this beautiful Friday, share this out on social media. Let people know about Double Barrel Gaming. Let them know that we do this 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, live content. We don't use hate rhetoric. We don't use clickbaitery to get you in here. We simply have fun. We have conversations. Everything that we do here is well researched. Ask the guys. I wrote the show 4 effing times and was like, okay, I'm going to go this way. Okay, this is a new pair of topics because I care. I want you guys and gals to come here. Don't feel like your time is being wasted on just hate rhetoric. You can go and read a newspaper to get that. You're not going to get that here. Mrs. Boom and I pride ourselves in being, transparent, being welcoming, and just having a lot of fun. And before we get to the outros, remember, folks, next Friday's Breakfast at Boom, November 22nd, we are celebrating the final release and launch of Stalker 2. That is coming out on Wednesday. It is already getting Game of the Year buzz. I am not reviewing it, but I am, and I say we, Mrs. Boom and I, are giving away 15 copies of that game next Friday. The first 8 will be anyone who is picked and is a channel member. The next 7 winners will be anybody in the chat who, of course, drop the hashtag that we're going to provide next Friday morning. And if the StreamYard's picker picks you, well, you win, and your choice of the game, whether it be on PC or on Xbox, and it's just courtesy of Mr. and Mrs. BoomStick. It's something we're doing. We're not getting any copies from Microsoft. We're not getting any copies from the developer. We are simply buying this with our own money to support the dev. And of course, in doing so, we're going to support the community by giving away 15 copies. But let's get everyone out of here. Korkenstein, let's sell the brand of your Xbox show known as Game Pass Gumbo. What's the next round of potentially delicious looking food that you guys are going to eat that are not MREs? That's number one. Get that out of the way. And more importantly, where could people follow you on social media?
Yeah, thank you to everybody. Fuzzy Boom, you guys have been absolutely awesome as always. The community, such a great chat going on. So thank you guys for always keeping it cool in there. Yeah, you guys can find me on almost all the platforms now. I've decided to kind of slowly move away, I think, from Twitter. I'm getting a little bit more active on Blue Sky and Threads. Just search for my name, Korkenstein. I think I'm at the Korkenstein because I think one of them was already taken. But yeah, just Korkenstein. Find me there. Xbox just joined Blue Sky, so if you guys didn't know that, they went live yesterday. But yeah, so for me, you guys can find me on Game Pass Gumbo. Goldshell, our co-host, he took a page out of your book, Mr. Boomstick, and got Mrs. Goldshell involved.
Nice.
With the next video. We are going to be doing Stalker 2 on November 23rd, the Saturday, 9 a.m. He made these really cool, I can't say it's like I can't pronounce it, so I'm not going to brutalize it, but for me, they're like these like little Hot Pocket, like empanada kind of things, looking kind of meat things from Ukraine. I think he said he might be doing a Ukraine mac and cheese as well. So he shot that. He made it yesterday night, shot it, him cooking it and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how he edits it and brings it all together. But yeah, we'll be having those. Hopefully we'll get you guys the recipe for those so you guys can make it at home. But yeah, we'll be talking about all things Stalker series IP on the 23rd. Also, if you guys like free controllers and free Xboxes, for those that don't know, I'm a moderator for years now, 7-8 years now, for Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and now Xbox on Reddit. Our Xbox, we're doing a massive giveaway. Right now, I'm looking at it right now. We only have 38 entries, so this is phase 1. We'll be giving away a white terabyte, 1 terabyte white series console X or S, and 1 Design Lab controller. But that winning Design Lab controller will move to phase 2, where we'll give away 40 of them. So you have your chance to not only create a really cool Design Lab controller that you'll get for free with a Series S. The second part of the contest, it ends on December 3rd, the phase 1. December 4th, phase 2 starts. And then, yeah, we'll be giving away 40 Design Lab controllers. Reddit was very gracious to us. Thank you on giving us some community funds to do this. But guys, hit us up on Xbox. On our Xbox. Follow me on Twitter. I have the link pinned to the top of my page. Come join us. Get some consoles, get some controllers, whatever you guys need. It's plus the community there is awesome. Super, super awesome. Very fun. And it's just a good time all around. So please join me. Thank you guys as always.
Well, thank you so much. And again, folks, you want to win a controller, go to Korkenstein's page, both on Blue Sky and on X, and sign yourself up, because there's only 38 entries. They're giving away a bunch of consoles and controllers. All you got to do is sign up to win. So thank you so much, Korkenstein, for being here, and of course your hot take opinions. Fuzzy Belvedere, let's sell not just your brand on YouTube, because of course that is the best place for anything and everything in the racing genre. His wife has started a horror podcast. We want to get some subs over there. They do. It's called Fright Night with Ferocious Fee, like F-I, like Fiona. Friday evenings, I believe it's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go follow both of them on X. Fuzzy, sell the brand, brother. Where can people check out the horror podcast? And more importantly, subscribe to you guys on social media.
Well, as always awesome being on here in the morning with you, Boom and Korkenstein. Love just chatting with you guys about gaming and your perspectives on the hobby we all enjoy here. Thanks to everybody in the chat for checking us out. Greatly appreciate you guys taking the time. Don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Greatly appreciate it. And for those that want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming related, you can follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Fuzzy_Belvedere. Also Blue Sky, just do a search for Fuzzy Belvedere. Also Instagram, Threads, and everywhere but Facebook pretty much. But if you are into the horror genre, whether it be for games, TV series, or movies, definitely follow my wife, Ferocious Fee 78 on Twitter. We'll be making a Ferocious Fee on Blue Sky here shortly. But for the podcast, it's like Boom said, every Friday or later on tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just do a search for Fright Night with Ferocious Fee. I'll put the link in the script or in the chat later on. Basically, we're going to be talking about Nightmare on Elm Street fan film that was made recently. Pretty good fan film. It's only like 35 minutes long, but I definitely recommend everybody check it out. Just do a search for a fan film of Nightmare on Elm Street. You'll definitely find it. It's pretty cool. But we're going to be talking about that tonight. And then later on tonight, you can also find me on Xbox Ultimate on Fun Speculations channel, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be having some shenanigans talking about the fun times and things to look forward to with Xbox, all the games that they're hitting us with before this year is out and as the new year begins and stuff. So check that out as well. But and this was an awesome day. Everybody take care, have a safe and fun weekend, and get some gaming in. Definitely to send or to have fun for your weekend. Thanks again.
Well, thank you for being here, brother. And of course, thank you we had over 900 people watching live, which is bonkers. That's almost 700 people on YouTube. And of course, the rest on Twitter. That's freaking awesome. I am going to start streaming to Blue Sky as well. I got to get that set up here. I'm on Blue Sky, same as Twitter, at Mr. BoomStick XL. I have not been as active. This has been a week, man. Let me tell you, I have been running since Monday at 100 miles an hour, and I have not even had a chance to freaking work on myself, which is work out, because I'm usually doing 5 days a week. I skipped all week because it's just been that kind of a week. I'm just happy I was able to get the content in. A couple of videos I put up this morning. I'm going to cut this down later on and make 2 videos out of it. So if you don't have the full 90 minutes to watch, I cut it down where it's more digestible, easy to listen to while you're doing a wash, while you're on that trip to the store, to Walmart to pick up milk or whatever. And of course, people are really enjoying the shorter content because it makes it, again, more digestible. If you have not already subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. Mrs. Boom and I would be greatly appreciative of it. And of course, a big thank you to all of the super chats and channel member chats that continue to come in and support the channel behind the scenes. Once again, we can't do any of the big giveaways, and we do have 2 monster-sized ones for the remainder of the year. We have the 15 copies next week and for Christmas. And I've said this before, and I'll say it publicly again. I'm a bit nervous about this one because we have never given this kind of money away. We're giving away, folks, $2,000 in 2 hours. And that is not coming from corporations. That is literally all of the monies that we have saved up over the course of the 11 months prior of super chats and channel member chats that come in. And we tuck it away. And last year we did 1,500. This year we're doing 2,000. And that's Mrs. Boom that wanted to raise the ante because of how difficult it is for families in 2024. So last year we gave away 2 grand prizes of $250. We have now doubled that. So we're giving away 10 $100 gift cards to your platform of choice, which equates to $1,000. And now we have upped the ante to 4 grand prizes of $250, 4 winners. And obviously, the way it's split is half of the winners, 5 and 2, will go to channel members. The next 5 and 2, which would be 7, would be to anyone that's in the chat for that big show. It is our 7th annual Christmas with Mr. and Mrs. Boomstick. Again, I'm not throwing any particular channel under the bus, but I will say, please let me know who's giving away $2,000. There's been nobody. And again, we're not corporation funded. This is not coming from anybody that's nefarious. This is literally the money that we have saved up from these super chats after Google gets their 30% because they get 30 right off the top. And we tuck it away, and then we try to do these big giveaways. And this is the biggest one we've ever done in the 7 years that the channel has existed. And why do we do it? Because we love you guys. And we know that it's been super tough financially for a lot of people. And maybe, just maybe, one of those prizes go to someone who doesn't have a gift for their kid, for their nephew, for their wife, for their husband. And that's why we do it. So thank you again for tuning in for today. We super appreciate the generosity. We super appreciate you guys and gals being here. And of course, I'm going to close out the show with something that's incredibly important to me. Hopefully one day, folks, it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And he would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you, you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of Breakfast with Boom.